Welcome to the Say It Out Loud podcast. I'm your host, Vasavi Kumar. If you're eager to gain clarity, speak with unwavering confidence, and liberate those inner voices, you're in the perfect spot. My mission here is to empower you to break free, find fulfillment, and ignite your passion. You ready? It's time to say it out loud. I've put together a guide of my top 10 tested and proven to work practical strategies and habits to help bright women like you say no, set your boundaries right, live confidently, and build healthy relationships, starting with the relationship you have with yourself. This is a self-paced guide, and I can't wait for you to dig into it so you can start becoming your most confident self, because she's in there waiting for you. Head to the link in my show notes or go to vasavikumar.com/guide and grab it today. Welcome back to another episode of the Say It Out Loud podcast. I'm joined here with my friend, fellow podcaster, also rock and roll veteran, Amy Edwards. Amy is the host of the Amy Edwards Show. I had the honor of being on her show, and I'm going to be back on again to promote my book, Say It Out Loud. I'm bringing Amy on because she's someone that I truly look up to and I admire and I respect. And I really want to get into what it looks like and what it feels like to own your voice and to speak your truth at any age. So let's get into it. Hi, Amy. How are you?
Hi, Vasavi. I'm so happy to be here and see you and your drum set behind you. And you're just full of life, which I love so much about you, and saying it out loud and exercising that muscle.
Well, I appreciate you saying that, being full of life. And actually that makes me think about the question that I want to ask you. Do you, and we are going to get into your backstory, right? But I love to highlight where people are at right now.
Cool. Me
I
too.
think we spent a lot of time talking about what got you here, but I also want to celebrate who you are, and snippets of your story will come up. I want to ask you this.
Perfect. That's
Yes.
how I like to do it too. So great.
You had said, "Boss, you're so full of life." And I feel that way about you. The few times that we've interacted in person, you're exuberant. Like, right? Like I think that's why I resonate with you. You're exuberant, right? You're like seltzer water. You're fizzy, right? There's something electric about you. And that's why I'm drawn to you. Do you think that having your life be fully yours and like really loving the hell out of it has helped you to speak your truth? Like, do you see a connection there, just being full of life? And please share what that looks like for you. And does that help with speaking your truth?
Absolutely. And thank you for the very kind words. Exuberant. What a great word. I mean, like, oh my gosh. So thank you so much. And hello to everyone. I'm super excited to be here. Thank you for having me. And yes, there is absolutely a connection between those. And you know what? I mean, for me, it's been surprising because I've pushed myself to not only say it out loud, but say it like as honest as I can.
Mhm.
And there are little spaces where we can get more honest all the time. Like you think you're honest, and then you really start focusing on it and you're like, whoa. And that in itself guides you into this authenticity where you trust your own voice, which we've talked about this before. And I'm a big proponent of this. You trust your own voice so much that you do start to enjoy life more because you know you're a person to be trusted because you're trusting yourself.
Right.
And so it just reverberates out into the world. So people are more drawn to you, opportunities are more drawn to you. And I think that I watch what I'm saying so carefully. I try not to say the negative things. I try to scrub my language of, that doesn't mean I don't like cuss and stuff. I do, but I scrub it of like the negative, because ultimately I believe that is not the truth. So don't say it. And so that those go together. And yes. And so then you're speaking these truths that maybe you don't even believe yet. Like, I'm exuberant. And maybe you don't look exuberant at that moment or what you picture it to look like, or maybe you don't, feel like that in your life. But you know what? It is the truth, because everybody listening to this, as humans, we are exuberant. We have a spark. You are a light in this world. And so those truths begin to snowball, and before long you're believing them more and you are living a better life. You're saying things like, I am living my best life, even when you maybe aren't. And you in turn draw that to you it is true. And you just start to ease more into this flow of your best life. And your best life, I don't want people to like be like, oh, she's like happy all the time and
Mm-mm.
she's just all just sunshine and fucking sunflowers. No, it's really just about bouncing back from those harder moments quicker
Mm-hmm.
and trusting that you're on the right path, trusting this is all happening for a reason and it's all happening to give us the full human experience,
Yes.
all
Yes.
warts and all.
So based on what you were just saying, I was thinking to myself, like, have you ever, and I know we've spoken about this before. I think I've openly shared this, like, and I've talked about this. My definition of imposter syndrome is when the old part of you is so terrified that you're going to step into this new version of you. And it's this old part of yourself holding you back. And it's like, no, don't leave me. And so, of course, this new version of you trying to step into this new embodied version of you feels like a imposter, feels like a fake. Like, but I've always said that, like, it doesn't mean that you're a fake and a fraud. It's just you're learning to be this new version of yourself. And sometimes we don't always feel it in our body because we haven't fully embodied it yet. So then I started thinking about, when I speak my truth, what does it feel like in my body? I have an answer to that, but you're my guest and I wanted to ask you first. When you're speaking your truth, what does it feel like in your body, if there is any feeling at all? I'm curious to know.
I like that because it's out of your comfort zone, when you're pushing yourself to do anything
Mm-hmm.
new or be any new version of yourself, it feels weird and it feels foreign and you feel like you're exaggerating. And especially if you want
Mm-hmm.
to throw in there all the parents and people, maybe a
Mm-hmm.
partner,
Mm-hmm.
all these people who have these visions of you, these notions of you
Yeah.
as you were, and then you grow, and so then you really doubt can really get in there, resistance can get in there, and how does it feel? So it can feel expansive and it can feel interesting and
Mm-hmm.
exciting, but at the same time it can feel very scary because you are breaking out of the old mold anytime you're getting out of a comfort zone, which I think is essentially what you're saying too, which that imposter syndrome is. It's like this new person, like looking back at, this is the way you've always been. This is quote unquote reality.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. And so, am I allowed to do this? And you know what? The good news is, yeah, you sure are. You're allowed to do whatever the fuck you want. So
Yes.
go right ahead. And so, that's just hard though. I think for me too, both my parents passed away when like my mom died when I had my first child at 30. I was 32, and then my dad died when my second child was about 3, I think
Mm-hmm.
2 or 3. And so that is, I've talked about this in things that I've done. That was a liberating experience for me, as much as I miss them and as hard as it was, and I love my parents so much. But at the same time, I was suddenly free of the way that they saw me or the way that they expected me to be, because that can be something that really weighs on people, your family perceptions. And so I just felt like, okay, I'm going to do whatever the hell I want. I'm going to show my children whatever the hell I can as a woman, as a human. So I went off
Amy,
on a tangent there, but what's
no,
your
you,
answer? I want to know.
you didn't go off on a tangent. That I had a visceral reaction when you said, when both your mom and then your dad died, you felt kind of liberated. And I've said this, and I don't actually say this out loud, but I'm going to use this as an opportunity.
Oh shit.
I've often said, in order for you to truly grow up, your parents have to die in your mind, or if not physically,
Wow.
and they have to die. And for me, that looked like
I just
having,
got chills.
yeah,
I just got chills.
I love both my parents, by the grace of God, are still alive, but their
Mhm.
voices have died in my head. Do they still come up? Of course, when I'm like dealing with like a moral issue, and I'm saying that in quotes because we all have our own set of morals and values. I'll hear my mom
Yeah.
telling me how I should do it, or my dad. So I've had to essentially kill them off in my mind. And so I just want to say thank you for saying that. And we live in a society that's like family first, family before everything. And I get that. And we also come into this world alone, and we are constantly with ourselves, and we are with ourselves all the time. And so if that means having to silence the voice of your parents, I mean, so be it. Right. I
Family
love.
first I get that, but really you're
Yeah.
your main family. So
Yeah.
you're number one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. That's such a good way to put it. I
Yeah.
love that. I'm totally
Yeah.
like going to use that sometime because
Please.
I think that that's just a really good delineation of like letting those voices die because and granted your parents were raised in a completely different culture, right?
Yes.
And but really when I think about it, mine were too. They were
Yeah.
born in 1936. They were raised like in the 50s. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's a completely different culture than what we're in right now.
That
Like I get that
that
it's
boomer mentality.
America, but
Yeah.
huh? Yeah.
I said that
So
boomer mentality. Yeah.
yeah, and or even they're even before that, my
Yeah.
parents. And so anyway, it's just a way of breaking out of seeing yourself through someone
Mm-hmm.
else's eyes and allowing yourself to not even maybe see through your eyes, to just let go
Mm-hmm.
of whatever it's going to be. And do you dare to say out loud your wildest dream? You know, do
Yeah.
you dare to say out loud? I can't tell you how many people I've talked to, Voss, that are
Mm-hmm.
like, I am dying to be a singer. And they just won't open up and do it and say it. And I had the fantasies too of being in a band, of writing my own music, of playing on stage and singing. And I fantasized about that for a long time, probably
Wow.
since high school or something. And to have that come to pass at age 40 and then release albums was a trip because I didn't even dare to think it actually would. But
Mm-hmm.
anything that you're thinking of can come to pass. I'm here
Mm-hmm.
to tell you. So just not only allow yourself to think it, but maybe start to venture out with the words coming out of your mouth
Well,
because you never know.
no, it's you're so right. It's like if you don't even allow yourself to speak it out loud, right? I mean, you gotta
Yeah.
allow yourself to at least say the words. And I think oftentimes when people get scared, like if I say it, then I might have to do something about it. And then now it's like out in reality, like I have to do something about it. It's just so much easier, and you can avoid it having to do anything when you keep it inside. I wanted to circle back on, what the truth feels like in our body. And I was thinking about it most recently. You saw me hosting one of my very good friends' book launch party, and there was so much of who I was up there that I was like, oh my God, this is like a new way of me being, right? It felt so honest to myself. I felt true to myself. So I was thinking
It
about,
looked it too.
thank
Yeah.
you. I
Yeah.
that means a lot to me. I want it to be felt, right? It's
Yeah.
not enough if I just feel it. I need others to feel it, right? Because it's energy. I want others to feel it. But
Yeah.
I was thinking about when I was truly just in my truth, it didn't feel like anything. And I actually love that, because that tells me, I usually have so many voices in my head micromanaging my every move, my every say this, don't say this, look like this, don't look like that. But I didn't have that night. So those voices, those thoughts produce certain feelings in our body, right? So if we're saying to ourselves, boss, you've gained some weight, you don't look good, how am I going to feel on stage? You get what I'm saying? So for me, I just wanted to share this with my audience, is that, when I speak my truth, I actually don't feel anything. And what that means, it's coming from a still place. It's neutral. It's like, I can't explain it. There's no high or low or happy, or it just is. The truth just is. And it's like, there's nothing around it. I don't know. That's just something that came up for me.
That's so interesting. I
Yeah.
like that. I'm gonna have to think on that and see
Yeah.
how I feel because I know that I
Yeah.
can resonate with that in some ways.
Yeah.
But there are other things like what you were just saying when it comes out of your mouth, when you say it out loud,
Yeah.
it does become more real. And I can think of one really good example of that for me. My first marriage, like divorce was never an option. Like
Mm.
that was not even something. It wasn't like we ever had, fights. And you said that both of our parents were still married. Like it wasn't, it just was not even a thought. It just wasn't an option. And I remember the moment like that I said it out loud, and that was when I knew it had to happen. And I can remember like where I was. My friend was driving the car, and I said it to him, and I was like, "I'm gonna have to get a divorce." And as soon as I said it, my whole body just knew, and I thought, "Oh no," because
Yeah.
I knew that it was like once I said it, it was for real, and so those can just be really, really tough There can be some really tough moments of saying it out loud, and it can push you into new spaces that maybe you have to, new paths that maybe you have to walk down. So I think that it can go both ways. I think when you're faced with a really tough decision, it can be visceral, as you said. And then I think sometimes when you're in that flow, it feels so natural that you are living exactly as you're supposed to be living, like feeling like you are totally in flow, like I really do right now. I don't know about
Yes.
you, in front of a mic, talking to each other, right?
This is
And
normal. This is like, yeah,
yeah.
this is just,
Mhm.
hello, here we are. Let's go. You know,
Yeah,
I, I
yeah.
wanted to ask you, well, I don't think you knew I was going to go here, but I wanted to ask you because
Okay. Oh,
one of the,
good.
I mean, listen, I want everyone to know this. I messaged Amy a few days ago and I said, I am so horny. I actually said a little bit more than that, which I don't feel like saying it out loud. You know what? Let's just say I was hungry for something, and I just said to Amy, I'm so horny. And I really love the love that you've created with you and your
Mhm.
partner, Justin. I was on Justin's podcast, Overcome with Justin Wren. I'll put his podcast in the show notes and the one that I did with Amy as well. And I really look up to you. I love what you have. I'm going to be honest. I prefer a younger man. I know you're with someone who's younger. My first guy that I dated after my divorce was 8 years younger. I mean, my God, the sex that we had. I mean,
Nice.
too bad it was so toxic. But one of the things, because the sex was so good. I mean, the toxic sex, right? The toxic sex
Yes.
X.
You
The
can
one.
have both. You can have amazing off the charts sex and a good relationship.
But like one of the things that like the reason why I so like think you're like a queen is like you have this love with this person, and what society says, oh, you're older and you're with the younger men and we have all our shit around that, but you just own it. And I would love that for me. And I would love that to hear from you when it comes to manifesting and self-talk and saying it out loud and being super clear and speaking your truth. What did you do to get ready for that? Like, how did you get ready on the inside, champ?
Let's take a quick break.
Having been in therapy since the age of 12, I know firsthand just how powerful the process of finding the right therapist is. Going to therapy and talking things out with my therapist has made me happier, clearer, and most importantly, I have a plan for my mental health. I have tools to be able to communicate with others, and also the tools to cope when life gets hard, which it does. So let me ask you a question. Is something interfering with your happiness or preventing you from achieving your goals? Regardless if you have a clinical mental health issue like depression or anxiety, or if you're just a human who lives in this world who is going through a hard time, therapy can give you tools to approach your life in a very different way. And that's why I'm excited to tell you about today's sponsor, BetterHelp. BetterHelp's mission is to make therapy more affordable and more accessible. And this is an important mission because finding a therapist can be really hard, especially when you're limited to the options in your area. BetterHelp is a platform that makes finding a therapist easier because it's online, it's remote, and by filling out a few questions, BetterHelp can match you to a professional therapist in as little as a few days. It's easy to sign up and get matched with the therapist. There's a link in my description. It's betterhelp, HELP.com/Vasavi. That's betterhelp.com/Vasavi. Clicking that link helps support this podcast, but it also gets you 10% off your first month of BetterHelp, so you can connect with the therapist and see if it helps you. And because finding a therapist is a little like dating, if you don't really fit with that therapist, which is a common thing with therapy, you can easily switch to a new therapist at no additional cost without stressing out about insurance, who's in your network, or anything like that. I don't know where I would be without the help of therapy and my therapist, but I do know that life would feel that much harder. So if you're struggling, consider online therapy with BetterHelp. Click the link in the description or visit betterhelp.com/Vasavi. Thank you again, BetterHelp, for supporting this podcast.
Yeah. Well, thank you. And yes, I could see that for you. It sounds great for you.
Thank you.
And you're already, doing that work and on that path. And for me, it was dating after my second divorce in my late 40s. And I realized I had only dated older men basically my entire life, older guys, older people, whatever. And so I was like, you know what? I'm not going to date anybody older. I actually did though. I dated I think there were only like two, maybe three. And And those I just kind of felt, one, he was famous, so I was like, he's okay.
Yeah.
And so anyway, I realized while I was dating that I wasn't having a very good time, and wasn't I was getting wrapped up in my head. I was getting too attached too quickly. I was wondering why they weren't reaching out to me all the time and sending me flowers and stuff. I had this friend a while, like around that same time, and she was single too. And one day she sent me a snapshot of her kitchen counter, and she was like, "Can you tell I'm single?" And there were like all these bouquets of flowers, and I was like, "What? Like, huh? Like no one's bombarding me with flowers." And so
Yeah.
I thought, well, what am I doing wrong? I want to be sent flowers, damn it.
Yes.
And like really just from one person would have been nice, you know?
Well, can I get a petal? I just want a flower
Well,
petal. That would be
honestly, one of those Ziploc bags full of rose petals, fine, I'll take it. It's
give me
like
some
$30.
trimmings. Give me some
Yeah,
trimmings.
like good Lord. And so a fern, I don't know, a small succulent. So anyway, it depressed me actually. And I was like, okay, I got to reframe this. I think anytime you got something in your life that you're not feeling happy about, then it's a fucking call to reframe. And so, no matter what it is. And so I had to just take stock. So I had to step back and be like, all right, how am I going to enjoy this if I'm going to do it? Because it is my choice. It's not like it was a job, And so, but I did, I did long for like some connection. And so I stepped back, and then the pandemic hit. And I was like, okay, now what if I'm only with me for the rest of my life? And so I thought I better be my best partner. So these all coincided. And so I just decided to be my best partner. So I did the entire self-love thing physically. And I, dressed up for myself in the mirror, which is an extremely vulnerable thing, made noises and forced myself to use my voice when I was self-pleasuring. I pushed myself in a lot of ways there. I didn't allow myself to fantasize. I only allowed myself to feel the sensations in my body. And this is all pleasure practice stuff. And so those all helped me love myself even more and realize that I already had everything within me. So then, yeah, I know, right? That's the shit right there.
I wanted to just share one thing like that came through when you said about the no fantasizing and why that's so important. And I wanted to share something personal. Well, it's not that personal. Everyone's hearing this, but I don't know if I've talked
We're all getting personal here.
We're all getting personal. I mean, I've masturbated since I was 7 years old, right? Like I learned to pleasure.
Wow.
Yeah, when I was 7, my mom, actually I did my entire 5-minute comedy set on my mom catching me with my hands on my crotch face down, on my vagina face down. It was a whole thing. I did a whole set on it. I'll share it with you. You'll love it.
Yes, please.
I will. But as I got older, I've watched porn, right? Like I've watched porn since I could, right? Since it was available.
Right.
And I went to a workshop with Alexa Martinez, who she's here in Austin, Texas, that sex chick. I think I was there like 3 years ago. We were talking about porn and she said something, I forgot what she said, but it really resonated with me. Basically, like we are outsourcing our pleasure when we're watching porn, and we're deriving pleasure from watching people. So this is like 3 years ago. And so I made a resolve to stop watching. And in the most recent past, like I would say 6 months, I've learned how to pleasure myself simply through the sensations in my body. And what I've been doing is like feeling myself, like actually like being turned on by how I feel and like focusing. And what I mean, I don't let myself wander, because when I let myself wander, it tells me that I've reached my pleasure point. Like, ooh, this is only this much pleasure that I'm going to allow. Like when I want to orgasm, I want to build that up instead of being like distracted. And I just allow myself to let that pleasure build up for me and see how much pleasure can I take right now, So
yeah.
I love that you said that. And yes, like feeling the sensation in your body and feeling that pleasure. I'd love to hear, how did that open you up and set you up for the love that you have now? Like what impact did that have on how you showed up?
And in that situation, if your mind does wander, you could allow it to wander to all
Yes.
the things you want to manifest in your life, like all the good stuff, like, like whatever it might be. I've done that too, which is actually a version of what they call sex magic. You can just call it,
So it's like
pleasure with.
manifesting via masturbation.
Yeah, absolutely. It's
Yeah.
a thing,
Yeah.
right? So,
Yeah.
so there's that too. You can start to envision that best life and everything coming to you, and no pun intended. And and so that's another even way. And so, how did I use that then? Well, I think just making that mental leap into I'm already abundant right here in myself, like I already have everything. That's huge, right? And so once you get to that, then you're not, it's so annoying because then you're not looking for a relationship. And that's when you find one,
Yeah.
And really, that's kind of what happened. I mean, I started dating again. The pandemic loosened up, at least, in Texas. And so I did start dating, but I had a better feel for it. And suddenly, I kept doing so much self work to, outside of the bedroom, like inner work, that I just noticed that these other people that I've been dating, I was dating quite a few at the time and on some apps, just I could let them go really easily. Like it, and I could tell them, like I could say this isn't a fit for me, and so sure that's difficult sometimes, but it was easier when I just knew it wasn't a fit. It just didn't feel. I was like, wow, I have turned this around. I had to turn it into something fun. If I was dreading a date, then don't go. So anyway, speaking honestly just helped. Like you don't need to hide that you have kids or that you have a divorce or whatever it is. Like just letting things fall where they may, and it just gets you so much more comfortable with yourself. And so around that time too, I started a list because a friend, I guess, on the front end of all this work, she had said, you need to date 10 people. And I was like, what? And like, she was like, before you even commit to anything. And I was like, all right. So I started a list of like the 10 people. And of those people, I would kind of write out what I liked about them. And so she was like, make like a Frankenstein of these people. And I was like, okay, that's good. And so I just started a more elaborate list of like, I started with those names and what I liked about them. And then I started building this list of things, or maybe what I didn't like, like, cause there was one person that really didn't want to kiss me in public. And I was like, that's a like a no-go for me. I want somebody that like can't keep their hands off me, will kiss me in public. So I started that list, and it just built up from there. And as I looked at that list, I thought, wow, I'm really creating this dream partner. I was dating men and women at the time, but then I started to realize I really wanted to be with a man. And so I just realized once I looked at it that person was with someone really awesome. And I thought, well, shit, I better make sure I'm that person. So this is what we talked about the other day. And so it's sort of a vision board, because you create a new list of who that once you've created that dream person, who are they with? And then that list is what you work to become. And it's not like she's blonde, or something like that. It's like way deeper. Like she's a creator, and I put it in the first person. So it's like I create things that he loves, and then I take care of myself. I take care of my relationships. I take care of my friends. I orgasm easily. Like I put everything in there. And so some of those are still a work in progress, but as I built that list, I got really more comfortable with who I am. And then not only did those other relationships start to fall away in dating, then I met my partner now. And not that that's been a super easy road, but he is more than the list. And he is the type that every single time something has happened between us, he steps up every time.
Right.
And so, yeah, and sends me flowers.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, so that's been really interesting. It's been interesting too, just because seeing that actually come to life is, I mean, you want to believe it, but then it happens and you get puzzled, like, whoa, this worked, huh? So yeah, so it's been really incredible. I wanted to speak to one other thing.
Yeah.
Just since we were on the sex subject.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say one other thing you were saying, feeling your body. And I wanted to let anybody know that's okay at any age. Like I was in my late 40s and it's still a work in progress for me. I advertise Wands as an affiliate on my show, Wands, Wands, and they create like crystal and glass wands, dildos essentially.
Mhm.
And they have one that's made of metal that is called the Venus wand. It's like a stainless steel. It's really heavy,
Mhm.
and it's got balls on both ends. Do you have it? Do you have it? It's like curved.
I
Okay.
don't use instruments. We'll talk about that later.
Okay. Okay. Well, I realized that sex for me I'm totally going off on a tangent right
Yeah.
now. I realized because I just realized this the other day.
Yeah.
The excuse me, other day.
Yeah.
And I realized that sex for me along the way, penetrative sex, it's always been a little more about the outside for me. And so penetrative sex, I don't have a lot of sensation inside there. And I wonder if this is for a lot of women. And so that's why I'm saying this. And so inside, I feel like it wasn't like I was always afraid that it was going to hurt.
Mhm.
And so I could tense up, but I didn't really feel anything pleasurable inside. And so I have noticed that the work I've been doing in the last year or year and a half, I got the cervix wand first, which is glass, but this Venus wand is changing things for me. And I'm noticing that like inside my body, I actually have sensations that feel good. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like finally. And I'm surprised. So anyway, I just wanted to invite anyone to give themselves grace because at any age, like you can discover these new things about yourself and push yourself. And I know that I just had moments when I got kind of depressed because I felt like everybody was doing it and had it all figured out. And I was way behind. And, here I am acting like I've got my life together or something. And that piece of it was frustrating me. And I just had to reach way deep down and say, nope, you're exactly where you're supposed to be. It's okay. Like parent myself, and you know what? It's okay. Even if you're 55, if you're 65, whatever you are, 75, it doesn't matter. Just like, it's okay to explore that part of yourself in whatever capacity you need at that moment. So yeah.
I appreciate the sidebar, and I don't even think it needs to be a sidebar.
Sidebar.
No, I think it's really easy to hear somebody's story, and that's why I love this podcast, is because I bring people on. It's like yes, we can speak from our lived experience, and it's so easy to look at hear you speak, and I think it's beautiful that you let people know, like even at any age you can learn about your body and what pleasures you, and there's no shame in like what age it is. That's the thing, we can learn at any age. Like who says that we need to figure this out by 32 or by 42? You learn when you learn. You learn when you learn, and we'll be attuned to it when it starts to try to get our attention. When it's time, because it will continue to nag you like, hey, did you think about this? Like, have you paid attention to this part yet? So I appreciate you sharing that.
Yeah.
Like, you're truly.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It's those times you get triggered too,
Yeah.
pay attention to those little moments because those are indicators of things that you can work on no matter what it is. And I was triggered by some things. Like I was listening to that book by Mama Gina, Pussy or Reclamation. I don't know Anyway, I started listening to it and I got super triggered and I never finished it. And I want to now, but I was like, okay, why am I getting so triggered by this? Why am I mad? And so I had to really like look at that. And those are actually good things. Like the times that we can find where we're triggered and we're mad, those are good. Those are good. I've actually been doing 12-step work, and I'm working on step 4, which is resentments. And now I've gotten in this habit where I get so excited when I realize I've got a resentment and I'm mad at someone, and I'm like, oh, I've got one to write down. This is great. I've got work to do around that, and like, I'm like, wow, look at me. Cause those used to really like give you that feeling inside of like, ugh, and so
it just takes up so much space having that, and it doesn't mean that you can never have a resentment. But I love that you said that you're doing a 12-step, because that's truly, anyone can use that. You don't have to. We're all recovering from something, from life, from being a human, and I love that. I read Pussy by Mama Gina years ago. Yeah, her stuff can be triggering depending on depending on your
Your
relationship.
perspective,
Yeah.
right? Like,
But I love
what's
that
going on?
but I often say this, that our triggers are our teachers. So I love that you're willing to hear, just like pay attention to what's going on inside and using that as an opportunity to expand. I want to ask you something. When you think about 30-year-old Amy, what's something that you wish you knew at 30 that you know now?
Oh gosh.
I have a wide range of audience. I have like late 20s to, somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've thought about that because, you see those things like, what advice would you give your 30-year-old self or whatever? And I'm like, gosh, it's so hard because it's so much. And also I try to I'm very much the type of person that doesn't try to regret things, like because what's the point, right?
Yeah.
So what do I wish I had known at 30? I guess the older I get, the more I know that it's all going to be okay. Like it really is. It's going to be okay. And so I don't know how you like get that in the mind of a 30-year-old or a
Yeah.
20-year-old or even,
Mhm.
40. I don't know. It really, really is. It's all going to be okay.
Mhm.
It's just, it is.
Mhm.
So relax. You don't have to please anybody. You can just be yourself. Everything's going to be okay. And
And
like
I believe it
now,
when you say it. Even when you're saying it, I'm like, yes, like it feels like a healing salve on my soul when you say, because
good.
yeah, I mean, I know you have a few years on me, but it's like I when I look back on my 30s and how much I wanted men to want me. I wish I would have told myself in the 30s, focus on your career. Stop being
Yeah.
distracted. Stop being distracted, boss. Get yourself set up first. Like I got married at 28. And when I don't regret it. Once again, like you, like I don't regret any of it. All of it has helped me to be who I am today. And I love who I am. But yeah, if I could take anything, it would have been like, wait to get married, wait till you're 40 to
Yeah.
get married, which is
Yeah.
now I actually feel ready to get married again or with somebody long term, and focus on your career. Equip yourself so much that like you have built yourself your own little mini empire.
Oh, totally. Yeah. Last night, my daughter, she's my youngest, she's 13. She was like telling me what her life was going to be like when she's 22, right? And she was just going on and on. There was a lot about a dog in there, but anyway, and I was like, so cute. But it was good because marriage came up, and she was like, oh no, I've got plenty of time. Like, I was like, great, great. Like, and I try to think like, what would I tell my kids? And I mean, I think that if we can just relax a little bit about it all, right? Like that's good. But I do love that. Like, yeah, you can focus on yourself at any age, or at 30. You can just take your time. You don't have to rush. Like when I see people at 25 and 30 thinking they have to rush to get married or have a kid or whatever, I'm like, oh my gosh. From my perspective, you have so much time. So I think I might tell my 30-year-old self that too. You have a lot of time. You have more time than you think. Like a decade, you can fit a few lifetimes, a few iterations of yourself in there. Maybe more than a few.
Do you think that advice would change much for your 40-year-old self?
It probably would actually. Yeah. 40, I mean, like, I think at 40, I want to shake myself a little bit and say, aren't you tired of it yet? Like the doubt, the worry, aren't you tired of it yet? Like, what are you waiting? Like, why? And that's what I did at 50. I was like, holy shit, I'm tired of doubting. I'm tired. I wrote myself vows. They're on my Instagram. I read through them every day because I'm not doing it anymore. I've spent 50 years doing that shit. Like, and what I mean is wondering, doubting, not trusting, worrying, feeling like I'm not good enough, or all that stuff, all those old chestnuts, so yeah, so enough of that. Enough of that.
I love that you just said enough. I posted a reel today on my Instagram that said, sometimes, I said how I used to pride myself on being the type of person that could tolerate bullshit. I mean, it's like, I'm the daughter of immigrants. It's very much like, we can handle it. toughen up, just get over it. My mom would say, stop being so emotional. That was always her thing. Stop being so emotional. And I used to pride myself on being able to tolerate a lot of BS. And guess how that worked out in my relationships? It didn't. And I said,
let me guess, you tolerated a lot of BS.
yes, a lot of, yeah,
or
exactly.
until you didn't.
Until I didn't. And so I shared today, you know, the most powerful word that you can just say to yourself is enough. Like, I'm done. It doesn't have to be this, I got to blow up my whole life to make up, you know, to change my life. Like, sometimes the simplest thing and the quietest thing you can say is just enough. And imagine if we applied enough to even like our food, to what we're consuming, to whatever, like just feeling full from within and just knowing when enough was enough. You know what I mean? And then
wow.
think about how that, yeah.
Yeah, that's powerful. Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
Yes, enough.
Enough. Just enough.
Because really it is like we will perpetually do those things that are not lifting us up. So say enough to it. Say enough.
In rehab, we were told that addiction is the disease of more. We just keep wanting more. We want more. We want more. And it's feeding this never ending abyss of dark. It's just this void, right? So of course, like I would still have like half a bag of cocaine left, and I would hit up my dealer and be like, I need more, because I was afraid of running out. And then I'd have to, you know, so it's the disease of more. But think about if we just felt full and we'd just feel like it would be enough. Like we have enough, right? My dad always said in the Western world, the biggest epidemic is the disease of the plenties, right? Like we just keep wanting, like it's just never enough. We just keep wanting more and more and more. So I love that you shared that, just that advice that you would give in your 40s. Like
I love that you put it in that perspective too. Like that's really great. It's going to resonate with me and stay with me. That's amazing. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. Well, I want to hear
because it's not getting, it's you what?
No, I was going to ask you another question, but go ahead, finish your thought.
Go ahead. I don't know what I was going to say.
Oh,
go ahead.
I was going to say, you know, you clearly, I mean, Amy, and I follow you. I watch your stuff. I listen to your stuff. You're in the habit of consistently speaking your truth out loud. But I'd like to ask you, what's something recently, like the something new, the bravest thing that you've said out loud in the recent past, like brave, like setting a boundary or walking away or saying you can't do something. Like what's something that you're really proud of? And like, it took a lot of bravery for you to say out loud.
Well, first of all, it is a habit. It is a habit, you know? And you know, the more you do it, the easier it gets. You're going to say it out loud and it's going to get easier. So so I'm saying things all the time that are difficult. And I mean, in my relationship, I've gotten a lot stronger with that as I've worked on 12 steps too. And because I am with someone who is in recovery. And so there's oftentimes things that need to be said there that I wouldn't have said before because I'd be scared that he might take it the wrong way but whatever it is. And, I mean, like the other day I called him out on, and this is not something that I would normally say. And I really wondered if I should. And he was blaming me for something that he totally had a choice in. And he was like stretching his back and laying over there. And I walked over and I looked down at him and I was like, I'm saying this to you with love, but you're coming from a victim mentality right now. And I know his like mad face. I saw like pissed offness come over his face. Like he did not like that. And I was like, yeah, that's gonna really set him off, you know. But I really did mean it with love.
Yes.
And he really, really was. His thing is victim mentality. Like he can get in that. And so I said that. And then I stewed about it for quite some time. I was like, he ended up going outside and like working on some stuff outside. And I was like, you know what? This might be a deal breaker for me. Like I really started to think like, if he can't handle that, I told him that he was acting like a victim, like, blah, 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 blah. Oh, a lot of shit going on in my head. Right. And so I'm like, if he can't handle that, I don't know. And I thought he was going to be mad at me all day. And, cause I know he's like the nicest guy in the world, but he gets mad. And so he has lots of emotions. And so I stepped outside after a few minutes to, I don't know, ask him something or whatever. And I was like, are you mad? And he was like, no. And he really had let it go. He had dealt with it and let it go and was not even holding on to it. And I was like, whoa. And so we have a meeting once a week, a love meeting, and we kind of go over things. I know Garen Jones turned us onto that, and it's fantastic. And
Love.
like we've made it our own format. But you have one thing, like you have an opportunity to say anything that you've been holding on to, and you talk about your sex life, and then there is an opportunity to praise yourself and the other. And so, like, I was able to say, like, you're really meaning it when you talk about your recovery. Like, like that was so good for me to see. And so anyway, it opened things up a little bit more. And that one was difficult, but otherwise I am saying things out loud, like even just talking about that stainless steel wand just in this conversation. Like, if life presents the opportunity to say something, are you going to hold back in the moment? Are you actually going to say something? Because that's where the big connections start to happen. That's where life really starts to expand, is when you can say those hard things. And like, I had moments like I was like, should I say this? It's not really on the topic, but I feel like it could help someone. And I just felt called to. And so I did. And I was like, and plus it's Vasavi, she'll get it. And so, yeah, so, that is a little bit scary, but again, like just life presents us opportunities. So can you do it? Because then that's where magic truly starts to happen.
So this just came up through me, Amy, when you were talking about, mentioning the wand thing and even the story with Justin. I talked about conscious censoring. I don't think we should censor ourselves. Yeah, like,
is that in your book? Is that a thing in your book?
I literally just came up with it. Conscious censoring. Here's the thing. I want people to be very clear.
Book two.
When I say it out loud, I don't mean say everything, say every little thing, say the things that are most congruent with your truth. So just now, what you and I were talking about, you bringing up the wand thing, you could have censored yourself and been like, oh, maybe I shouldn't bring it up. But you shared it because you thought it would be valuable, because it has to do with what we're talking about, right? Like your share, it was an offshoot. But that's the thing. We have to allow our minds to wander a little bit. Like if we have a download, like if we have a thought, we can't just dismiss that. So that's you being so in touch with yourself. Like you didn't censor yourself, right?
No.
If something else would have come up, like that was completely irrelevant, I trust that you would have consciously censored yourself. You know what I mean? Like, is this really necessary in this conversation? But I want everyone hearing this, what Amy just shared is such a perfect example of how most of us censor ourselves, right? Like we'll have some like idea come through, but we're like, ooh, let me not say it. It doesn't make sense, or it's not on the straight path. But
right.
When you're coming from, I want to be of service to this audience, I want to share my experience. Yeah. If you're going to get a download about a stainless steel vibrator, you're going to share it. And that's exactly what you did.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It reminded me of a line. Have you watched that movie Glass Onion on Netflix?
No, the mystery. Is it scary? I really don't do scary.
No, it's not scary. It's just a mystery. Okay. I liked it. And anyway, Kate Hudson's character has this really freewheeling kind of thing where she's like, I just say anything. I say it like I see it. And Daniel Craig, he's the investigator, and he says something to her like, it's a dangerous thing to mistake speaking without thought for speaking the truth.
Yeah.
And because she's like, I just tell the truth or whatever. And he's like, And so there is a difference, right? Like sometimes we can speak without thought. And I thought that was such a poignant line. And then I saw someone share it on social media not long after. And I was like, right, because they're not the same thing, right? There's a consciousness to your speech. And then there is like a conscious holding back when we actually can open up. We're given these opportunities to open up. So I love that you said that.
Well, I'd love to, as we wrap up, I want to ask you one more question, and then I want to let everyone know. I want to first let everyone know where they can find you, because I know you have. Side note, I wanted to let you all know that Amy does have a course called the Youthfulness Hack, and I just think it's perfect, Amy. Just everything that we've spoken about, and like I said, you inspire me. I have questions for you. I have questions for you.
Thank you.
Yes, this question.
I'm an open book.
Yeah, I mean, getting ready for meeting this love in our life, doing this internal work, and allowing ourselves to stay youthful, right? I never want to peak. I don't want to tell myself I've peaked, because I have not peaked. I actually,
because then what?
Yeah, because
Because
like,
then
okay,
what?
well, yeah, then it's all downhill. I'm like, no, I'm not going to peak
No,
myself sooner
fuck
than I need
that.
to.
Mm-mm,
So
mm-mm.
I'd love for you to share, give us a little, like a, insight into your course, Youthfulness Hack.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. And
Yeah.
we did an Instagram live on it too, that's posted up on our
Yeah.
Instagrams if anybody wants to learn more, a little more of a dive into it. I created this because this is stuff I've been doing for the last 5 years, like what we talked about. And the side product was that I just ended up more radiant and really believing more that you're not going to peak. So quit thinking that you've peaked, right? And so how can we take all these practices that I talk about and then really apply them? And so this course, their course is really, because one of the 9 segments in the bigger course, the Youthfulness Hack, I've broken off into its own course, which is called the Ageless Mindset. And that one is free. So people can try it out. It's less than 30 minutes. And I swear to God, it's so much of what you talk about. It will resonate with your audience like crazy. Because I mean, all the things that are in there, like, I mean, I've got a section on eliminating worry. I've got a section, like we talked about, self-deprecating talk and jokes and how you're going to do those. We talked about I talk about cutting out like saying old, or saying that, you know, oh, my best days are behind me, or any bullshit sentences. So anyway, that's for free. Anybody can go sign up for that. It is on my everything. It is on my link in bio, amyedwards.info, very easy to find. And then also I have the bigger course, the Youthfulness Hack. It says the secret system to reverse aging fast and create a new radiant you. And that is basically taking all the things that I talk about and consolidating them in one place. And so you can go through and hack through to get into all the things I do, because it is all in you already. You just gotta find it, right? And that's what I've done. I've done the legwork on this, and not only the legwork, the actual like do it every day work. And there are things in there that I even say like, hey, this one sometimes I'm doing it more, it ebbs and flows a bit, right? And that's okay, because you're going to find things that work more for you. But overall, this is a system that you can return to anytime. So if you feel like you've lost yourself, if you feel like I don't know, just like I was watching a TikTok the other day, and this one was like, I am just a mom. I've forgotten what makes me me. I've forgotten what I enjoy doing. And she's like, that is pissing me off. And this is actually the antidote for that, because this can get you back to you in a way that turns into just this radiant you that knows your best days are still ahead, that looks in the mirror and says, I love you, rather than like, what the fuck? So that is all possible. And it just takes some diligent practice. It does not take a bunch of money, costs less than Botox, swear to God. So yeah. And
I'm so happy that you have I'm so like, I love that. And this is why I wanted you to share about it, because your emphasis is on the inside, right? Yes, there are things that we can do on the outside, which you'll be covering, but it really is the internal work. And so, yeah, I'm just happy to be a resource to everyone. And if it seems interesting, check out the show notes. I'll put the link there for Amy's course, the Youthfulness Hack. Amy, I'd love to ask you the question that I ask everybody right when we wrap up. Is there anything that you haven't said out loud today here on this podcast? Yeah. I always want to make sure everyone feels complete with this conversation, so
yeah, good question. Yes. I don't think so. I think this was just such a wonderful conversation. I haven't said how grateful I am for you and for your story, and to have met you. And I just thought you were badass from the moment we met, and you were on Justin's show, which I got to be in on. And so anyway, I just, that you are a light in this world, and I'm excited to see you flourish and grow, and I don't know, all the things. So yeah, so I haven't said that out loud today.
Oh, that's sweet. I received that. I'm fully
Good.
soaking it in, and I want to say thank you so much. And it's really special for me, the people that I'm connecting with through during this book launch period, because from now until May, right, I'm really in it right now. I'm in it. Like the interviews, I'm on, I don't know, God knows how many podcast interviews. So I just keep talking about this, saying it out loud. But what I'm keeping very close to me are the people that I text every so often, and my friends. And so I love that you're like, I will always associate you with this part of my life, like, oh, Amy and I connected during my book launch period. Like, yes, we knew each other. I was on your podcast and vice versa now, but I really feel like even in the past few days, reaching out and talking to you about where I'm at in my own love life, you've been so generous. And so I just want to say thank you for your generosity. Just like,
oh, thanks.
Sharing your list sharing your list.
I like that.
Like, thank you. Like that's, I say this out loud because, we don't have to live through life alone. And I want to always bring on people here that I feel somewhat of or have a connection, a personal relationship with. And always model what it's like to have beautiful relationships, because you're not alone. And you don't have to suffer or struggle in silence. Okay. So, Amy, I just want to say thank you.
You're so right.
Yeah.
Thank you. Wait, I have one more question for you.
Yeah.
Do you have any specific affirmations that you're saying out loud about your book? Like it's a bestseller. It's like anything like that.
What I have been
Are you saying those out loud? Have you recorded them? Have you?
Okay. Giving me a taste of my own medicine. Chance. Well, I will. That's what I'm going to do. Well, I've been saying to myself that this book is going to get into exactly the right hands. It's gonna reach exactly who it needs to reach. Like whether that's in the media, whether that's PR, whether that's whoever, like it's gonna get into the hands of the right people. And by right, I just mean aligned, congruent, and really loving this message and wanting to bring it to their people. So I trust that. I absolutely, if I was having a baby right now, I'd be in my second trimester. I would not be trying to force the shit out of anything. So I'm enjoying who I'm becoming in this process.
Oh, good. That's beautiful. Yeah. Well said.
Great question. Yes. And I'm going to take your advice. I'm going to record my affirmations about my book, about my love life. I say that in my book. I'll do that for the book though. And I'll repeat it back. Yeah.
I just recently read something, I know we're wrapping up, but
it's okay. I have a hard time saying goodbye anyway. It's all right.
I just recently read something and I can't remember what book it was in. And he said, okay, so put down your goal, whatever it is. It's a bestseller, right? Mm-hmm. And then you basically multiply that by like, you could do 2. You could just double it. Like, what would it look like doubled? And then what would it look like really like 10 times, right? And then you'd be like, oh God, now I'm Oprah or whatever the fuck. And so basically you push yourself so far out of the realm of anything that's comfortable that your big goal, what you were what you were thinking about, suddenly is comfortable. Suddenly that one just doesn't seem that out of the realm of possibility. And so that's a really good like goal stretching exercise, which makes me very uncomfortable when I do it. And that's where a lot of growth happens. So anyway.
I love that. It feels tingly in the body, right? And that's why it feels tingly, and maybe we're not used to how limitless we feel. That feels like such a limitless way of feeling like, ooh, anything's possible. Yeah, I always have a hard time saying goodbye, but I appreciate
Me too. Thank you. And I love you. It was amazing. Everybody check me out on Instagram. I'm at Real Amy Edwards. I'm at amyedwards.info. That's my link in bio. And that's got links to everything, including my TikTok, which is The Magic Babe. And of course, check out the courses and my podcast, The Amy Edwards Show.
Thank you so much, Amy, for coming on the Say
Thank you.
Podcast. You're welcome. Bye.
Bye.
If you love today's episode, then say it out loud. Subscribe, leave a review, and come say hi over on Instagram at My Name is Vasavi. Until next time, say it out loud.